And Jim, Paul, this was your idea. You wanted to do a salute to forehands.
Well, it's been interesting. I mean, luckily we have the great guys downstairs that can put together some Hawkeye stuff and all the video stuff from the guys to go through. There's a lot of different ways to hit the forehands, and there's a couple different themes that are really universal no matter how you hit it. And Roger Federer likes to go through the line of the ball. Look at the racket. Goes straight through the line of the ball. He has incredibly active feet, wraps it around his upper shoulder, but in a more linear swing. Watch the footwork, though. See how he's coming forward? And again, right here, active feet, cutting the ball off through the line of the ball and moving in afterward. This is one of the best forehands in the world. Goes a little bit flatter, hard over the net. This man is trajectory, racket head speed. Look at that, from a low to a high, wraps around the head. But look at the active feet of Rafael Nadal. In position, right there in his strike zone, finds it in the sweet spot. Again, wrapping the racket all the way around the head. And a huge difference from a low to a high. Watch this sequence of forehands, even when he's moving. Look at the racket, low to high, really significant, right? But active feet, moving with a sense of urgency, creating huge amounts of revolution, pulling the inside in, and watch him just dominate the court. That is a very different racket trajectory and linear line. This man right here has to figure it out. Watch Zverev, that's a good one, right? Down on the right side through the line of the ball. He's not as successful with his footwork. Watch when he doesn't quite move properly. There's the mishit. This is about being 6'6" or 6'7", and not getting in position, does not make clean contact because the feet aren't active. He has more of a linear swing like Federer, but he needs to get more consistent with that footwork and find a way to get the ball in the strike zone. Again, watch him wait for this ball. He's 8 feet behind the baseline. He needs to be 5 feet closer to the baseline, get it in the strike zone, and flatten it out, as Federer would do. So for Zverev, he's got to figure out, he's a tweener. He's between Rafa and Roger, but the one constant is his footwork. Needs to get that footwork consistent.
Yeah, well, the best thing about Federer, the thing that's the common theme for those guys also is they take the ball at the apex of the bounce on their forehands. They're looking to get the ball at the height of the bounce because that makes for better geometry for them to be able to hit down on the ball if they need to, or at least get a little bit better angle over the net. For Zverev in that last view, we watched him let the ball drop a good 3 feet down, and he needed to be further up in the court, as you pointed out, and he needs to work on the spacing. That's the issue that I think Ivan Lendl will probably focus a lot on with him.
What do you mean by that?
I was hoping to get to there, and I maybe will, Mary, is to make sure that every time he hits a forehand, his feet and his arm positions are very similar. In Nadal's, that vision we showed of him, he hit forehands all over the court, but if we freeze framed them, he would be exactly the same space as far as his racket away from his body on every shot. So it's easily replicated for him. Zverev, there's a lot of volatility in how he swings at the ball, and that makes for inconsistency.
Hawkeye underscores what you've been talking about?
Yeah, some interesting stuff. Toby down in Hawkeye did a great job. Just take a look at all three of these guys. Look at the colors with the names, okay? Look at the trajectory there. Those little circles are right at the top of the swing. Look at Rafa Nadal. That apex is closest to the baseline, closest to him versus anybody else. So he's closer to himself when the ball gets at his height. Look at the revolutions per minute. That's why Rafa, from a low to a high, the revolutions are significantly more. But notice that the apex is similar with Zverev. Let's not get carried away. That's because Zverev is 6'6" or 6'7". That's why his is so high. As we follow the trajectory, look at where the ball bounces, pretty similar spots. Rafa's ball is still climbing well beyond the baseline, and that's how we categorize it, as that heaviness, that oppressive heaviness. And Toby, you did an awesome job. So did Brad Douglas. So did Weeds, Bren, all the guys did a great job down there with all this stuff.
All right, so you're going to both give me your top 3 forehands. Is Sasha Zverev in there, and will he ever get there? How hard is it to work on footwork?
It's not. That's why I think he can be there, because at 20 years of age, the footwork's what's going to come next. And that man that you mentioned, Ivan Lendl, had one of the greatest forehands of all time. So he's going to help him actually learn how to do that.
All right, who's your top 3, Paul?
My top 3 are Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and Jack Sock with that huge Western forehand.
Jim, do your top forehands look pretty much like that?
I mean, we're really splitting
There you
hairs
go.
here. For me, Nadal's the best forehand that the game's ever seen. Federer right behind him. I like Juan Martín del Potro's maybe slightly more than Jack's because it's a flatter, bigger shot. But Jack is my 3A, if you will. He's definitely in the top 4 with his forehands. It's a money shot. For me, Mary, the thing that makes Nadal's the best is that he can do the same amount of damage as someone like Federer with a lot more margin for error. He doesn't have to hit the ball close to the net and close to the line because he has so much work on the ball that it hurts players with a lot more safety. So one man, one shot for my life. Give me Rafa's forehand, and I'm pretty happy.
Best of all time?
Yeah.
Best forehand of all time, Paul Annacone.
Probably Rafa's. It holds up under pressure because of the RPMs, but I don't know. I want to know about the Mary Carrillo forehand.
It was really shaky.
Forehand or backhand?
Really shaky?
Come on.
They were both.
You didn't have the lefty over the head.
The chicken wing forehand?
There you
I had a
go.
chicken
Come on.
All right, we're going to take a break. Thanks. That was very cool. I
Thanks,
enjoyed
guys
that.
downstairs. You were awesome.